What's up, guys? When I say I wasn't gonna post today, trust me, I was not gonna post today, or I wasn't gonna film today, because obviously I gotta film before I post this. But I wasn't feeling alright. You know those ones where you just want some soup? Me, I want some manish water right now, like some real back home soup with some pepper in it. Because I felt that way, I was like, you know what, since I can't get no soup, yeah, I also have to keep the window open because it will get hot. Okay, we're in October, but the weather in Canada is crazy. But yeah, I can make the soup myself, but I'm not feeling good to make the soup, so I was like, let me come and buy some fruits, because if I can't have the soup, I don't mind eating some fruits or whatever. So I went on my app, and let me tell you the price of these fruits. You guys know I like to shop on a budget, but when the budget isn't budgeting, so I even remember, even though the Wi-Fi is so crazy on here, grapes, $4.49 a pound on sale. One pomegranate, $4.99, but it's a jumbo one. But the other ones are so puny and they don't even look sweet. What was another thing? Mangoes. You know how much a mango is in Canada? And when I think of the mangoes just ripen on the floor back home, let me wind up the window. When I think about the mangoes, them just falling on the ground back home and nobody's eating them, I think about how much I have to spend on like 4 mango. And in my house, fruits finish so fast. Fruits, yogurt, anything healthy finishes so fast. But the healthy stuff is so expensive. But one thing you guys don't know about me, I haven't had a 9 to 5 for a few years now. Not that I haven't looked for any, and not that I didn't want to work any in the past. I've worked, I feel like my whole life. Like, I've been working ever since I was little, because my brothers had a restaurant and I'll be there working for free. Unless I take my little change. I told my brothers later on in life that I used to take change from the till because they didn't want to pay me. So it's like I never touched the big bills or nothing, but I would take like my little change for my snacks and stuff. But I told them later on because my brother wasn't trying to pay me. But I was working from them times, and then I had my first job when I was, I want to say like 14, and you weren't even supposed to work until you're 15, but the employer liked me so much that she didn't even check my age. But I couldn't get paid until I was 15. She was like, we have to just save up your checks, we can't pay you, you can stay, and then when you can get paid, we can pay you. So I was like, okay. So I've been working, and even before that I was doing like the paper route and stuff. So back then I didn't have kids. My life was different. And when I look at life now compared to like even 4 years ago, and the cost of living and the cost of these fruits, I'm like, do I need to go look for a job that I don't want? I don't want to. I don't want to go. Like, honestly, just thinking about a 9 to 5 just gives me so much anxiety. It gives me so much, like, it just worries me because, okay, like, here's the main reason. I know entrepreneurship and being your own business person is not for everybody, but so is a 9 to 5. Like, there's so many stories I can tell you about these 9 to 5s or the ones I've had, which, depending on the feedback of this, I will let you guys know like some of the things that I've been through, and I just don't want to go through them again. And mainly why I don't even want to have a 9 to 5 right now is because of my kids. Like, if I was just a solo dolo by myself, having to take care of myself, I'll have a full-time, I'll have a part-time, I'll have a side, everything. Like, I'll be working for people. But now that I have my kids, and you have to understand, like, I came from a household where even though my dad had to work full-time and my mom had to work, times are different. And thankfully to God, my dad has a job where he was able to pick his hours and attend to us when he had to. Now, if I had that type of job that my dad had, then cool, I could do that. But When you have school starting at a certain time in the morning and finishing at like 2 something in the afternoon, where me I go work full time? Like, honestly, like, how? I don't want to leave my kids with just any and anybody. I have so much like discernment, and I want to talk about this stuff a lot on my channel very soon. But I've been realizing, because Canada is so rough and because Canada is so expensive, like there's so much mental health going on around here that gets ignored. Like, I just don't trust people with my kids more than me all day. I've had to do that with my firstborn, where I had to go to work full time and she'll be at school. You know how much a phone call I get, and them expecting me to just leave my job and go fix the issue or go pick her up, even though I send extra clothes to school and working so far. It was so much for my brain. And even when I think about it now, okay, I'm like, okay, what if I do find something? I probably have to take her to a daycare, which is so expensive, by the way. Like, to me, the price of daycare and the price of rent and the price of everything else, it's like, it's a setup for failure. Like, it has to be, because to me, this country just wants you to get into debt so that they can own you and all this stuff that I can get into, but I ain't gonna get into that right now. But the thought of a 9 to 5 just really stresses me, because I have my kids mainly. I wasn't left with no sitter. Even my brother was left with a sitter. I wasn't left with no sitter. I don't like the fact that I would have to be on somebody else's clock all day, every day. I've done it and I like it. I like to be on my own clock. And I know it's a form of like discipline and structure or whatever, and that's how the workplace goes, but like, no, I don't like it. Like, what do you mean I have to be there at 8 and my kid starts school at 8:30, and on top of it, my car just doesn't work right now. So I'm thinking, okay, so even if I have public transportation, this public transportation where I live, it runs like every 45 minutes to the hour. So like, where is the time in my brain? It just doesn't add up to me. On top of it, just dealing with co-workers and dealing with the management itself, I don't like it. I don't like it. And the way how things are going right now, certain jobs, it just feels like, to me, it's gonna disappear. Like, I remember I used to go to Walmart, go to Dollarama, there'd be so many cashiers. Now it's just the bots that I'm scanning my stuff through, you know? So it's not even promising like it used to be. To me, finding that balance is where I struggle, because I have to deal with school, I'd have to deal with work, I'd have to deal with transportation. I just envision the stress of it all. And then on top of it, I have to go deal with people in a workplace that have just so much different like spirits. Like, everybody just clunked up in a building and all the drama. I've done it and I just feel like I'm over it. But at the same time, when I look at the cost of living, and I look at, even when I do look at that and I look at the cost of living and I look at the pay, sometimes I'll be looking at jobs, I'm just like, and I'll calculate it and I'll be like, it's still not enough. Like, I'll be there and I feel like I'll still be in a negative. The pay to the cost of living just doesn't make sense anymore. Yo, the price of like a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom in certain areas, because I'm not just gonna live anywhere. Like, no. There's just certain places in the GTA I'm not living. Just me personally, I just need to live in certain areas that are comfortable for me, especially my kids, you know? I always think of my kids first when I think of any scenario. Yeah, I can go work some job, but is it gonna be good for my kids? Also, like, I realize when I go to like a job, I'm always trying to like find myself. I feel like I'm never myself when I have a full-time job. Like, my last full-time job, the amount I was pushing to do what I want to do, which is actually good in my sense, but every time I'm in it, I just feel like I need to get out of it. Like, I never like the culture of it, and I just feel so controlled. I'm very good when it comes to work. I could do the work, but at the same time, I feel like I'm always overworked and underpaid. Like, I'll never forget my last 9 to 5. These people gave me a whole new title of work, okay, on top of the title that I already had, without telling me. Like, they spoke about it, but they never told me that they gave it to me. But then I was like, yo, why am I getting so many extra phone calls? You know, and the people with my job title are not getting these phone calls. Next thing you know, I walked into work, I think it was from lunch or the next day, and I noticed that I was like, was it receptionist number 2 or whatever they had for the like the main person doing it, they had me as number 2. So I'm like, since when did they give me another role? And if they gave me another role, like, where is my pay? So I was just getting discouraged from then. Like, how you gonna give me a new title and no new pay? Like, and I've noticed that in a lot of places I work that, like, they just want to suck all the energy out of me and they want me to do so much for the job, like, because I'm just so good. But where's my pay? Like, don't underpay me and expect I'm just some dummy that's just gonna be here to collect your little paycheck and not get my pay. Like, those are the things where it's just like, God showed me you're not supposed to be here, Tash, because you're so good at what you do, but people don't want to pay you, so you need to venture off on your own. And I've done work where I've worked on my own. Like, I've been in like the real estate type field where I've had to be my own business person, but even that was crazy to me, because at the same time, even though you are working for yourself, you're technically not. There's still management over you. And I just find it to be such a struggle sometimes when I have to think about, what is my next move? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, am I gonna go to a 9 to 5? And even if I do, to me, it wouldn't be like a forever thing. I want to do it until I just figure out what is it that I'm gonna do. And it's not that I wouldn't put my all in at work, like I would, but I just don't see how it's supposed to work out. And if I could figure it out, I would, but I just don't like it. So I'm going to be doing something that's not going to make me happy. And even my workplace knew that this wasn't the place for me, you know? I just feel like that's a whole nother story I want to get into, but just to show you, like, I'm always trying to find myself, because I know the workplace wasn't myself. It wasn't my calling. And it's just hard to be in a place where it's like, you know, you have bills, you know, you have life to think about, you know, I have kids to feed and stuff. So yeah, a 9 to 5 may be it, but am I gonna be the mom that I want to be when I come home from work all tired and stressed out, trying to cook food, trying to clean the house, trying to do laundry? I'm already trying to do that with the schedule that I have. So doing it with work on top of it, like, sometimes I notice like people are driving behind their wheel at certain hours in the day, just looking so tired and miserable. And nowadays I talk to people and they're stressed out from work too, and I'm like, man, I could just imagine. And I'll be like, and you have kids, like, that could be a lot. And they tell me that it is a lot. So it's like, am I willing to do all of that? Can I do all of that? And even if I was to get back in it, I'm like, it would have to be part-time. I couldn't just go boom, like, into a full-time job that I don't even want to do. Like, even working for yourself, it's a lot too. Like, it's a lot. But to me, it makes more sense because I'm banking on myself and I can set my own goals to gain more. I've been at jobs where it's like, I'll be doing such of a big of a task, but am I getting the role? Am I getting the pay? No. And when I look at it now, to me, it's like God telling me, like, you didn't need that. Like, that is not what I'm trying to tell you to do. Wake up, Tash. Like, do what I'm trying to tell you to do. And I feel like he tells me sometimes, and because of the things that I've been through and the way I'm trying to work out of my anxiety a lot, because your girl has a lot of that. Like, I wasn't even gonna turn on the camera today because of it, and God's trying to tell me, yo, stop doing that. Like, stop being like that. I'm telling you what to do and you're not listening to me. It's another main reason why it's like, it's so hard for me to take a 9 to 5 or do like a full-time job. And I laugh because, like, I remember these times. I don't like when I have to take time off and it's like I have to worry if I'm gonna get these couple days off after I've been here for months upon months, and I have to wonder if you're gonna tell me if I could take the time off. Like, I was even thinking, like, last year when I took my trip to Jamaica, I'm like, what if I was at a job and they told me that I couldn't go? Because it's so hard to, like, book off work when it's like the holiday times, because seniority, like, who's been there first. But to me, it's like, yo, these days people need time off. Like, people are just going through things, and to tell me that I can't take time off, like, I'm gonna walk off if I need that time. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, I work months on months and I can't take this time off. I like my time off when I need my time off. I just don't like the controlness of my life, of being controlled by somebody else like that. And I feel like you'll know more when I tell you what it was like when I had to leave my last 9 to 5, because I really had to go from that place. Like, things were happening and I didn't see it at first, and then when I realized I had to go, I had to go, you know. So it stems from a lot more than what I'm saying. I had to leave it. It was just interrupting my soul. It wasn't making me happy. It was it just felt so demonic. Like, I couldn't do it. And when people come to work, you're dealing with a whole bunch of different types of energy. You're dealing with a whole bunch of different types of attitudes, and people dealing with, like, people come from their home to this workplace, and you're amongst a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of different type of thing, and it can be very draining. So I just hope that God just really steers me in the direction that I need to go to, because I don't want to do the no 9 to 5, because it's just not me. It's not something I'm looking forward to. Sometimes I talk to, like, the certain people in their job and they're not happy, but their bills keep going and they have to pay them. Some people are even stuck in, like, a mortgage that, you know, they did for like 25 years, and then you have to, like, put up with your boss because you have your bills to pay, your mortgage to pay, or else what are you gonna do? Like, you have to be putting up with BS because you got stuff to pay for, and that ain't right. And it could be the basic necessities of life. I'm not over the top, eh? I'm okay with the bare minimum. I'm okay with being on a budget. I'm okay with not having expensive things and can't do all the extravagant stuff, just to know that I could be a mother there with my kids and grow them up in a way that is right. I just feel like so much people have a hand on our kids sometimes, and I didn't even send my little one to school until this year. She could have started last year in junior kindergarten, but I wasn't ready to just let her go off into the world like that. Like, I wasn't ready. And I didn't have to send her this year either, but I was like, I don't want to just shove her into grade 1 and, you know, not just to get the creep in of it a little bit. So even with that, like, it was a lot for me to even send her. I was crying, I was so emotional, I was so worried about it, and I was like, God, please send me a sign what I should do. And it was not until I saw one of my daughter's old teachers, like, a couple days before I even registered my daughter, and I spoke to her, and she made me feel okay about it. She's like, don't worry, I'm gonna be there, I'll pop in on her sometimes. And she just made me feel better. So I was like, okay, God, that's your sign that, you know what, it's okay. Because I'm always with my kids. Like, I'm always worried about them. Even my little one's always like, stop worrying about me so much, Mom. But, like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. If you're out there and you're feeling this way, girl, I know, any parent, I know that feeling. It's so hard sometimes, but, you know, I pray about it, and I try to, like, keep calm these days, and just, if I can't change it today, I can't change it tomorrow, I just gotta chill out and, you know, hope for the best. Yeah, I will touch more on this very soon. And I'm about to go buy my expensive fruit, because even though it's $5 a piece, I need it. I need it. I'm gonna stop in this store first, and if it's too expensive in there, I'll probably just go to the next store. The thing is with me, I can't just buy fruits just anywhere. And I'm just looking at my eyes right now. If they look a bit messed up, your girl had a crazy day. Some days it's just really hard for me, you guys. It's just rough, and plus I wasn't feeling well. And to be honest, it's like some days, if I'm like thinking, if I have memories of like my brother and stuff, I just get very emotional. I was like, no, let me go pick up my expensive fruit. And yeah. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon, and I hope you didn't mind how crazy I look today, because I'm not into the whole let me get ready to film and stuff like that. This is me. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna see more of me like this, regular degular, but it's okay. I will see you guys soon. Bye.